I think, yeah, I agree that there's been some learning, both having worked in the Indian insurance industry and now working for a market such as Lloyd's. And the one advantage I can say I'm having today is that I have the ability now to look back on the domestic market and try and really see where some of the improvements are possible. Uh, I think the essential difference, between the insurance and the reinsurance first, if I can really take it up, is that each insurance market is unique in the world, and they're left to their own devices, be in terms of governmental push, be in terms of regulatory impetuses, as well as the marketing forces, you know. Reinsurance, on the other hand, is more global in character, B2B. It really floats across the world. It both tends to sustain the local markets as well as to also help develop it further. Now, if I have to take this learning forward and say that what are the constituents which can really help improve things, let me first say, let me first start with the governmental level. Now, we did a study in India and we found out that even within the insurance sector, you have everything codified in the primary law, whether it is Insurance Act, Insurance Rules, Motor Vehicles Act, Workmen Compensation Act, so on and so forth. And you have different ministries and different laws, etc., etc. Now, even to the extent that if you really look at the insurance law, it tends to define today what is fire insurance, what is marine insurance. The first learning, therefore, I had was that when I really looked around, not just the UK market, but also most of the developed markets, I didn't find such a constraining situation as far as the primary laws are concerned. What they have done is that they have transited from this regime to a very different regime where the regulatory authority is more empowered to stay in tune with the market conditions and keep on sustaining the markets according to the requirements of the market rather than be decided at the primary level. So the secondary level laws are much more dynamic, and the secondary level regulatory powers are much more influential to be able to give a definite shape and direction to the market according to the modern needs and times, you know. So that's one thing, you know. Secondly, both at the government level as well as the regulatory level, we found that the rules are more not prescriptive at all. They're not rule-based, you know. They're principle-based. So you state the principles, and you then lead the market, impactors, the high-level regulatory authorities, and the market practitioners themselves. For instance, if you really look at the UK situation, you have the Lloyd's market, which is where the product reforms and other reforms are being carried out by London Market Association, LMA. Then you have International Underwriters Association, which is actually representing the company's market. And then you have several other trade bodies, such as Association of British Insurers, and then you have the Brokers Association, etc., etc. Now, they are all different from what you have earlier with FSA. FSA also today has been broken into PRA and FCA. PRA is more capital and solvency related, and FCA is more conduct oriented, the Financial Conduct Authority, you know. And the result is so dramatic, so influential. Today, they are not really giving you any prescriptive regime, but they are saying anything which is not within the realm of the reasonableness, you know, or it is against the public interest, they come down with a ton of bricks, you know. So that's how the regime actually moves, and I think it's very important. And I'll just take up one more point before I conclude this part of my remark, is on products, you know, as Srinivas said. learn from the Japanese market, you know. The Japanese market, one of the researches that I had done long time ago in India, and as he mentions, people said that, what is it there in it for us? If I have run a policy with you, let's say for 10 years, and it has been claims free, am I going to get my claims, my premium back? Am I going to get, now exactly the same thing happens in the Japanese market. And such products are being sold in the Japanese market with a lot of opportunity. I think so. It's a combination of all these things, you know, at various levels: governmental, regulatory, market, innovation, that we can really bring about a revolution of sorts.